good news is you're here. It's never too late to make positive changes, and there's always room for improvement, and every little effort counts. Please celebrate your every little win. That's what I say to all my health coaching clients. What's missing is we look for this big goal and we don't celebrate ourselves until we complete this long journey, but every little win, if you give them one apple, celebrate. If you give them one whole food, celebrate. So how do we make changes? By teaching our kids about nutrition. But we've demonized nutrition. Healthy teaching helps our kids tremendously. Why? Because proper nutrition prevents sickness, supports optimal brain development, improves mental health, focus, and academic performance, prevents obesity and malnourishment. And studies show that lower consumption of ultra-processed foods decrease the rate of anxiety and depression. But not only are we neglecting to teach the truth, we're criticizing those who are. I mean, I can't tell you how much backlash I'm getting. And I'll go into the objections that I'm getting, and I'm gonna knock them one by one, and you'll see that the regular citizen has become an unpaid marketing advocate of these companies because they've been brainwashing the whole population. And I'm not blaming anybody. It's a very smartly used marketing strategy. I wish they used it for good foods. Before we go into the nutrition, I want to ask you a question. Raise your hand if your kid comes home and without you even nudging them, comes home and hangs their backpack, lines up their shoes, washes their hands, gets themselves a cup of water, starts homework, takes a shower, eats a balanced dinner, brushes their teeth, reads before bed, and sleep at a proper time, all without a nudge. No reminders. Anybody? No. Nutrition is just like that. Just like we wouldn't let them watch YouTube until 2 a.m. We wouldn't let them skip their homework. They need a nudge with the nutrition too. Why are we putting this aside as if it's a religion to talk about it? So of course, when you start talking about foods in a way that I'm going to show you in a fun way, still you're going to get some pushback, like, oh, you're so annoying, why can't I eat this? But that will eventually be perceived and loving and nurturing. Because I don't know if you've met any people, adults, who grew up in a healthy home. They always are proud. They're like, my mom always had a salad in the house. We always ate vegetables. It's all about the habits, attitudes, and relationship with food. They can grow out of weight or height, but picky and emotional eating, sneaking, and sugar addiction are much more difficult to grow out of. As parents, we have more power than we think. Parents, it's hard, like you said, lack of time. But we have to look at the big picture and use sometimes different ways when you have picky eaters to make it inviting instead of telling them. Another thing that I hear is I want to raise my kids the way I was raised. So I hear that a lot. We correlate food with memories, and we want to create the same memories for our kids, and I totally understand that. But what happened is the exposure has changed and the ingredients have changed. So we have a lot more exposure to processed foods. And the ingredients before, it used to be flour, sugar, butter, and now it's high fructose corn syrup, artificial dyes, like the same packaged food that you grew up in. If you compared it to the version from 1950s, today's one is toxic, and the one from 1950s or 1970s, 80s, our generation, was not. So things are changing. We have to factor that in. Yes, you can raise your kids the same way, but maybe find a cleaner version of what you grew up with and pay attention to the labels. If we don't invest what we earn, our money, to food today, we will end up spending it on treatment later on. Of course, there's balance, and of course, there's ways to be smart about it. But for me, what I put in my body comes before anything I wear or put on me. There are other alternatives like Thrive Market or localharvest.org is where you can order fruits and vegetables from the farm, organic farm. Okay, so how do we empower our children? Tone, fun, joyful, and still firm. Teach, don't preach. Model, you're their 24-hour live commercial. Nobody has more influence than you in their lives. And family meals. So when I say fun, joyful, and still firm, this is a picture of them, of my kids, when we used to plant parsley, cucumbers, peppers, and they used to just rip it off and eat it off the plant. And it was fun for them. They didn't know anything better. It's like, it's really what you show them. And now, of course, they know about the real world. I'm going to talk about that too. We live in a real world. But the way to encourage them is to praise courage and bravery when they try something new. Even if they don't eat the whole thing, if they took like a tiny bite, if you have star charts for anything, add the food behaviors to the star charts. Oh my God, you took a bite even though you didn't like it. That's amazing. Be excited about it. Like, celebrate every little progress that they make. Also, make family meals a fun, joyful experience, not stressful with forbidden foods or pushing them to finish the good food in their plate, whatever it's salmon or broccoli, whatever it is. And then make it like an environment where you share stuff. Like, this is your family time. This is what you feel like a team as a family. You share your highs, you share your lows. And then you can get adventurous, like go strawberry picking, plant a garden, go cooking together, try new recipes. Like with my little one, I think he might be a chef one day. His hobby is like go through my cookbooks and put post-its on the recipes that we should try together. And he gets so excited. And I'm like, that's the joy I'm talking about. Okay, so the second part is teach, don't preach. This is where we don't say, you can't eat this, you can't eat that. Like, this is not gonna work. If we are like the food police, if we're looking from like the parent tone and not the child tone, we're talking down to them, it's already pushed back. So we need to make it fun and still firm. So how do you become the parent in a joyful way? So the sentence that we use mostly is, Mom, why can't I have this? Everybody's having it. And I'm like, because we're a healthy family. It's not, this is good. We're a healthy family. And yes, I do like, if they want the worst thing in the world and we're at a party, I'm like, go have it. But then they know, like, I had that and I have to rest, for the rest of the day, I have to eat balanced meals because I had a little, fun. And now I'm gonna feed my body with things that love me back. Healthy foods should be at eye level, and the foods that you don't want them to eat, the ultra processed foods, should be way in the back of your pantry, possibly in the upper shelf. That's what I do. Like, I put at the pantry the stuff, the cleaner processed foods are in the front. The ones that I don't want them to see, if they ask every once in a while, I'll give them, they're in the back where they can't see it. And then teach them about the balanced plate, like veggies, protein, vegetables, fruits, whole grains, healthy fats. Like, if I give my kids just pasta, Mom, where's the protein? He will tell me, because I taught them protein makes your muscles strong. It's not because he thinks this should be. He's like, I need to be strong. Where's the protein, Mom? So it's just a matter of like instilling that awareness, not really controlling what they eat. The bigger goal is to ingrain in their brains this love for their body and taking care of their body. Bell peppers and broccoli will prevent you from getting sick, or probiotic yogurt will work with the soldiers in your gut, and they will work and they will protect you against viruses. And this really works. Like berries, my kids, when they eat blueberries, they're like, Mom, I just did something really good for my brain. And that's the excitement we want. We don't want like the push force. So teach them how to read the labels. For example, in this one, a trick that I'm going to tell you, you'll see, you want to look at the serving size, because the added sugars looks like 15 grams here. I know it's too small, but the serving size is 2/3 of a cup. And according to Michael Goran's book, 15 grams is the daily maximum of added sugars for a 5-year-old. So if your kid opens this and has 1 cup, they have already exceeded their daily sugar limit. So family meals are really, really important. As I said, they improve family connectedness. They're associated with healthy eating habits, better academic scores, positive body image, decreases the possibility of being overweight, eating disorders, drug abuse, and early sexual behavior even. And I know we all have busy lives. I'm not saying aim for 7 family meals a week. They have practices, they have late nights, things. Look at your schedule. Like I said in the beginning, do your best with what you have. And you can aim for 3 to 5 meals per week. And when I say family meals, you're allowed to eat your food. Actually, I eat my food before my kids sometimes, because it requires a lot of patience and being present if you especially want them to eat the good foods. So if I'm hungry and then they come to the table and they give me some behavioral issues, I won't have the patience if I'm hungry. So I sit down while they're doing their thing, 10 minutes, I eat my whatever, and then I sit down And it still counts as a family meal. Like, for it to be a family meal, you don't have to be consuming food. You just need to be sitting with them and making it a fun experience. Modeling is so important. When Max was 6 months old, when I started introducing solid foods, I was fish out of the water. I had no idea. I had just learned how to cook as a newly married person. And I was like, what do I give my kid? And I had a pediatrician friend, and she said this one sentence to me, and it's still living with me 11 years later. She said, Melis, you are the commercial in the house. He will look at you and do what you do. Just whatever you want him to eat it in front of him. And that's what I've been doing. And the way to eat is to make it a little bit festive, like as if you're in the lady in the Magnum commercial. Like, oh my God, this is so good. And mouth-watering, oh, there's none for you. This is for me. This is too good. You know, speak positively about food. Avoid labeling foods like good or bad. Just name them for what it is. This is packaged food and this is whole foods. You had your packaged food today. So they can know the difference. And make healthy eating cool and as a gift and not seen as a chore. What if you ate everything that you want your kids to eat, like this lady is eating the Magnum? I'm gonna tell you another story. A few years ago, my kids were like, we don't want kiwi, it's so sour, it has seeds inside. So I was like, okay. And then I just left it. And then maybe a few weeks later, I bought a few kiwis, and then I didn't show them. And then while they were sitting, I peeled it and I set it and I started eating it in a really mouth-watering way. And I said to myself, oh my God, I got this last kiwi at AGB and it's the best kind. I'm so happy that I got the last one. And I started eating it. I'm like, no, I want it. I was like, but I eat half of it. Okay, you can have 2/4. And they were like, oh, this is so good. It's what we say is like the Bible to them. They take whatever you say. So they're watching everything. So just remember that you have so much more power than you think.